Welcome back to another Explainer. I am so incredibly excited about today's topic because honestly, we're completely reframing how medical trainees actually approach artificial intelligence. We're finally moving away from treating AI as this simple shortcut machine, and instead, we're looking at a system fundamentally designed for rigorous, genuine clinical reasoning. Today, we are exploring Vibrounds, the AI-powered Socratic attending. Get ready, because this literally flips the script on digital studying.
Let's start with a question. Who is the absolute best clinician educator you've ever rounded with? Just take a second and really picture them in your mind. I'm not talking about the attending who just kind of hands you the diagnosis at the end of a super long, rambling patient presentation. Nope. I'm talking about that specific, maybe slightly intimidating attending who has the sheer power to make you sweat right through your scrubs. You know the one. The one who just lets that uncomfortable silence sit in the room instead of jumping in to rescue you when you're stumbling.
It's the one who looks right at you and hits you with, "So what's your leading differential and what finding would change your mind?" Man, if you've been on the wards, you know the exact feeling of being pushed on rounds like this. It's this moment of intense pressure. Your heart definitely beats a little faster. But you know what? You also know that this is the exact kind of interaction that leaves you so much sharper. You always walk out of those sessions just a little bit better than when you walked in.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The AI answer key trap, or the problem of outsourcing your reasoning.
So, look at how most people are using AI in medicine right now. You're getting the standard experience where you paste in a patient case, you get a clean, perfectly formatted differential, and you kind of feel like you learned something. But the absolutely crucial point here is you didn't. Actually, your brain just quietly checked out. You essentially outsourced the hard part, the actual reasoning, to a machine. The Vibrounds experience, though, it's the complete opposite. It literally forces you to sweat through the problem. Because struggling with that information is what actually makes the learning stick in your long-term memory.
Moving on to Section 2, enter the Socratic method, where AI becomes a strict partner.
Instead of just handing you a diagnosis on a silver platter, Vibrounds acts exactly like that intimidating attending we were just talking about. It asks these really probing questions, stuff like, why did you rank that first? Or what are you missing here? And the core mechanic of this whole platform is that you have to commit to an answer first before you get any help at all. And hey, if you think you can just type IDK or I don't know to bypass the system and get a quick rescue, yeah, think again. It absolutely will not rescue you. It's going to demand your best guess anyway.
And this brilliantly illustrates how the platform works. Only after you've actually reasoned through the problem and committed to an answer does the AI offer any hints. And it does this in very strict steps. First, it gives you a broad framework to think about the problem. Still stuck? Well, step 2 provides a slightly narrower direction. And finally, if you really need it, step 3 gives you a partial answer. Notice what's missing there? It will literally never just hand over the whole answer up front. It proves over and over that it's here to teach you, not just to solve the case for you.
All right, let's look at Section 3. Your new clinical toolkit, designed to hone those diagnostic skills.
Now, let's talk about the Clinical Learning Suite. This is a free-to-try set of AI-powered study tools built entirely on simulated cases. It is specifically designed so the AI plays the attending, not the answer key. And I really want to be incredibly clear here. Just as the source material points out, these tools run completely on simulated and open-access teaching cases. This is strictly a training ground for practicing your reasoning. It's not a tool for inputting real patient data or making real-world clinical decisions, so keep that boundary in mind.
But within that training ground, there is just a massive variety of ways to engage in active learning. For instance, we have the lesson bench for structured back-and-forth lessons. Instead of just staring at a giant wall of textbook text, the case simulator lets you actually talk to a simulated patient, take a history, order workups, and even write a SOAP note. Short on time? The case practice gives you these quick 10-minute daily drills right between classes. Or if you're about to present on rounds, hit the case bench to stress test a diagnosis you're feeling fairly confident about. And finally, the level bench provides cases that literally scale up in difficulty as you get better, ensuring your brain never just gets to coast on easy mode. Oh, and the whole shebang, URN features spaced revision, saved encounters, and detailed learning analytics. It's a real game changer.
Which brings us to Section 4, private, safe, and secure with zero risk of judgment. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the brilliant architecture working behind the scenes. For the API, it uses a bring-your-own model. That means you plug in your own free key for Claude, Gemini, or ChatGPT. Because of that, the execution runs entirely locally, right there in your very own web browser. And as for data storage, 0 central servers. Because you're bringing your own API and running everything locally, absolute data privacy is guaranteed. Your clinical reasoning missteps, those little mistakes we all make, aren't being hoovered up into some giant corporate database anywhere.
And honestly, that leads us to the ultimate psychological benefit of this whole system. There is zero risk of looking silly in front of your class. Like any genuinely good attending, Vibrounds is absolutely going to push your thinking hard, but it creates a completely safe space to fail. It's literally just you and a case. You have total freedom to make mistakes, get corrected, look completely lost for a minute, and then learn from it, all without any fear whatsoever of judgment from your peers, your residents, or your actual real-life attendings.
So what does this all mean for you? Well, I'm going to leave you with this final provocation. How many of your quote-unquote obvious answers survive being asked why? I really challenge you to test this out. Take a medical case you already feel pretty decent about, head on over to VibriaRounds.ai Studio, and just run it through the case bencher or the Socratic mode. Seriously, see if your reasoning actually holds up when an AI attending pushes back and demands to know your logic. Try it out, and see what the system catches that you might have totally missed. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, keep actively learning.